107.5 WBLS. Good afternoon. I'm Shaila, and I am sitting here with one of TV's favorite fathers. We're talking about favorite TV talk show hosts, but we're going to move it on over to the favorite father category. And of course, that would have to be the one and only James Evans, also known as Mr. John Amos.
Good morning.
So first, we got to say welcome, Brick City's very own. Not only that, a Capricorn, one of the best, if not the best, horoscope. Yes, right?
Good morning, Brick City. Welcome.
Good morning. Now, you know what I didn't know about you, though? I didn't know that you were a college football player, pro football player.
Allegedly.
And wait, boxing champion?
No, that's somebody put a little yeast in that biscuit. I had a couple of Golden Glove fights, but I was not a champion by any means. I have too much respect for the guys that were champions to claim that title.
Really? Well, just the fact that you were in the ring, I was saying, now, how did he get from the football field to the boxing ring to our TV screens? How did that happen?
I was just trying to do any and everything I could to establish myself. And boxing and football happened to be in the way towards my show business career. And ultimately, that happened, and so far, so good.
Who gave you the break that you needed to get into TV?
I don't think it was one break. It was a series of breaks. I started in the business as a writer, really, writing for television.
Really?
And in the course of writing for different shows, let's say the Leslie Uggam show, when she had a show of her own on CBS, I was often called on to act out the sketches. So in acting out the sketches, the producer saw something in me that said, I think this guy can act a little bit. Let's give him a shot at one of the characters. And the rest is history. I'm an overnight success after 45 years.
Yes, and you know what? After a short time on Good Times, you made such a huge impact and effect on us. You know, can you tell us what one episode stays with you that was the most challenging or the most difficult to get through?
Well, it was a satisfying episode, a very gratifying episode, and that would be the episode in which JJ was shot by a gang member. And there was so much gang violence going on at that time that Norman Lear, the producer, delivered a very, very welcome and needed message at that time about violence in the community. And when JJ got shot, we showed the devastating effects that it had on the entire family. So I was very grateful to be a part of that episode. I think it was very important.
Yeah, and I know for me, Roots was very emotionally draining at times. I got to tell you, my mom got our first color TV just because Roots was coming on. And I ran, because we didn't have no VCR back then. So we had to run home and get there in time to see Roots. But I know it had to be emotionally draining for you as well. What, if you can name one moment in that, the filming of that, what was the most emotionally draining for you?
Again, it was a satisfying moment. While it was draining, it was also fulfilling. Louis Gossett Jr., who justifiably won the Emmy for his role as Fiddler in that series, or that miniseries rather, he and I were sitting underneath a tree waiting for the cameras to be reloaded, and I turned to him and I said, we better eat this up like a good steak, because I don't think we're ever going to get a piece of material like this again. And that's pretty much been the case. It was an incredible piece of material, and he responded by saying, you're absolutely right. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So we both realized it was a very important moment for both of us as actors, and it was a very important moment for television as well.
So I guess it created a lifelong relationship with Mr. Gossett as well as many other people.
No doubt. We still talk to each other every time we get a chance now. I have nothing but respect for him. He's Academy Award winner, Tony winner, and an Emmy winner. Louis Gossett is quite a talent.
Well, you know what? As an actor, you played several characters. I thought I would throw a couple of character names and see if you could match it up with the movies. Let's start with Kansas City Mack.
Kansas City Mack. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That would be Let's Do It Again with Sidney Poitier.
Gordy the Weatherman.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show. God rest her soul. That was a wonderful company to be a part of.
Yes. She was also born on my birthday, December 29th.
Is that right?
I got to throw that in there.
Okay.
Yes. Cleo McDowell.
Cleo McDowell. Mr. McDowell of McDowell's Hamburger fame. Yeah, that would be Coming to America with none other than the great Eddie Murphy. And I got to tell you, I went to work every day laughing. I couldn't wait to get to work. I never enjoyed myself so much on any set as when I worked with Eddie.
It looked like it was so much fun. You got to work with him again in Dr. Dolittle, too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Phenomenal. Now, Henry Evans.
James Evans. Well, John Amos is. They changed his name to
James. Why did they change? Because Henry Evans was on Maude.
Yeah.
And then the spinoff was Good Times.
When they went to series, they changed his name to James. I have no idea. As long as they made the check out to John Amos, I didn't care one way or the other.
But you know what? How was it working in the 70s on shows like Maude and Mary Tyler Moore? You know, because, I mean, considering you have been in the boxing ring and you are a former football player, nobody was going to come at you in a sexual misconduct way. But with all these allegations going around, did you have to deal with any of that in the 70s as well?
I can't say that I was confronted by anybody along those lines.
Right.
Any confrontations I had were usually centered around the material itself, the scripts or the lines that we were being asked to deliver. If I found them untasteful or distasteful, I'd refuse to do them. I wasn't the most diplomatic guy in those days. Being from Jersey, I had a certain way of saying
Brick City.
Making it plain.
Right.
So,
that was actually why your time on Good Times ended.
That was partially the reason, the fact that I was not a diplomatic guy when it came to expressing my grievances. My retort usually was, well, let's take it outside. People didn't want to hear that.
No, not Norman Lear.
As I matured, and I got over that, things began to smooth out a bit.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, the thing is, you made such an impact in such a short time. It's amazing to me. Some people don't even know that you weren't on there every season because you made such an impact as James Evans. Yeah. So now we're on to more Good Times as an author.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, my children's book is something I'm very proud of, but also something I've been working very hard at for a long time. If you look in my high school yearbook and it shows your graduation picture and indicates what you aspire to do after you graduate, mine says a New York School for Cartoonists and Illustrators, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a cartoonist. That's what I found most satisfying. It was gratifying from a creative standpoint. And as it turns out, after all these years of working in film, television, and on stage, etc., I'm back to cartoons in a way with this children's book. Though I wasn't responsible for the artwork, I am collaborating with the artists and the writers to develop this children's book and others to follow.
Wow. So what is the book about? The name of it is A World Without Color.
A World Without Color is pretty much self-explanatory. It's a fictitious book that starts off with a little boy becoming aware of the fact that everything in this town he lives in, Bleaksville, so named very appropriately because everything is gray and dull and lacking color. Mm-hmm. But as he's introduced to different characters in the book, and these different characters make him aware of different situations, color comes into his life, their life, and into the book itself. He meets a lonely person, and he brings them a piece of mail that they've been looking forward to, and it brightens their day, and their life takes on some bright, attractive colors. So it's a pretty simplistic book, but then it is aimed at children, so it seems to work.
Wow. So can we get this on Amazon now?
Amazon now and at Barnes & Noble.
They're
it's available.
everywhere.
And I would ask any listener to get a copy of the book and read it to your child, and then encourage the child to read it themselves and to share it with their playmates. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of a book. You want to keep it and watch the kids grow with it.
Well, I got to tell you, football player, boxer, actor, cartoonist, author. Is there anything you haven't done that you like to do?
I tell you the truth, pretty much everything I've set out to do in my life,
You've been
with,
very blessed.
I've been extremely blessed. I've
Mm,
had the opportunity to try and do most of the things I wanted to do.
right.
I think that's the most important thing, that we all set high goals and standards for ourselves and go after it. I mean, you got one chance to go after the things you want in life, so go for it.
There you go. Ain't we lucky we got him? Yes! John Amos, everybody.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you very much.